Good morning, everybody. We are moving on with our limitless journey. I said I was going to finish this darn book, and I'm going to. So, the last time we spoke about what motivation is purpose times energy times small, simple steps. We then moved into what purpose was, the difference between purpose and passion, um, being passion is what lights us, brings us joy, what what really burns in our the pits of our stomach and makes us happy and really allures us towards a task. Purpose is how we connect with the world and how we bring our passion to others. Um, Being more conscious with why we're doing things, you can't have a successful goal if you don't know why you're doing that, which of course led to what we should look for in our goals. Setting specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time-based goals will allow us to create create a goal that we can achieve and accomplish that will test us but not tear us apart. And we also were given the advice to make sure that our goals are healthy and in line with our spiritual, mental, emotional alignment. Ensuring that your goals are healthy, enduring, alluring, relevant, and true to you, I think is the most important one. I think if your goal is true to you, it encompasses most of the other ones because, you know, being a hardworking individual is true to you, but that may not exactly be healthy all the time. So, guilty of that right here. Um, we then went on talking about passion and purpose, and we I began today with who do you think you are, Mr. Big Shot? And this began with a practice to identify what we felt about ourselves, who we thought we were, and who we believed we were. And we did a practice where we wrote down, I am whatever. I think this really goes hand in hand with the magic self-help book because a lot of negative thought could have you write down something like, I think I might be something else, or, I'm a slow learner, or I'm not good at this. But the point of this practice, you're fine, baby girl, you're fine. You are a strong, independent young lady who don't need daddy snuggles right now. Um, so, so I did those. I basically identified myself as a software engineer, as a quick learner, as I think I also said that I'm awesome. I actually have all my I ams right now underneath my microphone, so but that was great. It was empowering to list down what I know, who I know I am. We then went on to talk about values and that what our values are and how we incorporate them into our life. And we may not know what they are at this moment, but we can learn those things as time progresses. Um, I think there's a little bit more to be dug out in this values section that it wasn't fully mapped out. In here, he says something that um, if you value love, but you don't take the time to memorize or to learn people's names, then that those two things are conflicting because if you valued love, you'd value the human interaction and companionship and stuff like that. So I do have what I believe I value, and I would like to dive more into what those values mean on a deeper level and really concrete my sense of identity, my sense of self. Now, in as we're talking about motivation, right here it starts out with finding your reasons when it comes to doing anything in life. Reasons reap rewards, and it goes back to the making goals that are true to you. You got to have a reason to do the things that you're doing. What is your reason? The example used in the book is that the healthy 70-year-old does not go to the gym at 4:35 in the morning because he likes it. He goes because maintaining his health, is important to him so that he can be with his family, and that's motivation enough. Which is important. You got to have that why. Why am I here? Why am I doing this? Is this something I want to do? Is this something I need to do? I believe earlier in the book there are three cardinal questions, and it's why why must I learn this? When will I use this? And how will I use this? May not be in that order, but those are the biggest questions for your limitless um, motivation section, at least. And right here it says, if you're struggling to find motivation to learn or accomplish anything else in your life, there's a good chance you haven't uncovered the why of the task. So it's really bringing, really beating in that you need to know the why. If you don't find any motivation in knowing someone's name, you're not. If you don't find any motivation in knowing someone's name, you're going to forget it as soon as you move on to your next conversation, which is me. I would always say that, oh, I'm just bad with names. I'm bad with names. I'm terrible at remembering names, and I was. I never remembered anyone's names because I didn't care to learn someone's name. Which, there's no motivation, there's no purpose, there's no reason, and so there's no progress being made on that front. Um, but I'm trying to change that. And I mean, though it's definitely a baby step, but I've also given up on learning. I had given up on learning um, phone numbers, but I've memorized my wife's phone number. Um, Hooray, progress! But I am also paying more attention to people's names when I talk to them, when they introduce themselves, and I'm trying to be more present in what I'm doing, why I'm here. And the book continues that the author has very defined goals, sense of self, and things that the author wants to do. The author wanted to write this book, and so that was what everything was focused towards. And the author knew that any other opportunity or anything else that would have come to hinder that journey, the author knew that they did not want to do that because it wasn't in line with that particular goal. And so the author would made a joke to introduce us to the joy of missing out, the JOMO instead of FOMO. And he says right here uh, a really good sentence, I think, especially for someone like me who I usually will take on more than I can handle just to make sure that everything else works, and then I'll worry about fixing myself because I always believe that if I can, then I should. If I can help with this problem, I'm going to because I can. I should do that because I have the ability to. And then once I'm done working on all that stuff, then I'll take care of myself. While I don't expect anyone else to have that mentality that if they can help me, they should, I expect myself at least to have it. Um, and so he says right here, while it's great to be open minded and consider options, when you say yes to something, you need to be careful that you're not inadvertently saying no to yourself and your own needs. Um, Self care, something I definitely did not implement in the past, something I am absolutely implementing right now. And we move on to talk about what is motivation. It's 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 a set of emotions that act as fuel for our actions. And now we're going to tie it all together and figure out what motivation is as we move on. And it says right here that we need to figure out that. Okay, we're going to go back. We made it to the section that ties it all together. Um, for me, tying it all together is I went back to the motivation equals purpose times energy times small simple steps. And purpose was part of this section, and we defined it as how we bring our passion to the world. And our passion is made up of goals that are smart and healthy, or smart and full of heart. And those goals have their own smaller definitions on what defines those sections, if you will. So this line was important to me. The learning fits into your passion, identity, values, and reasons. Because that's the whole point of reading this book, is that I'm learning right now. We're learning. We're learning to learn. And we need to be able to identify those four things. And if we can't do that, then we need to be working towards our ability to clearly identify those four things, which I did down here. And we end the section with another lie. One in the past we had those 7 lies about genius, intelligence, learning, and accidents, mistakes being failures, and there he's adding an 8th lie in this paragraph, and I think this one is also a really big one. Perhaps the 8th lie is that you have motivation, that you wake up and you feel motivated every day. The reality is that you do motivation. Ultimately, motivation is a set of habits and routines guided by your values and your identity that you carry out every day. That is excellent, because every day I write a schedule on things I want to do that day, and they're in the same order usually, and I have thus far been able to stick to it mostly. Um, I'm recording these videos. I am hoping to bring in more time so that I can edit them to be proper products of, you know, a proper product. Right now they're very raw, and um, and yeah, uh, I definitely wake up excited and ready to go to the day, because I know that when I wake up, first thing I'm going to do, make my coffee, list my 10 gratuities, do my magic practices, read Limitless, write my Limitless notes, record my Limitless video, record my magic video, um, breakfast time with my wife, my chores, lift weights, eat lunch, code. The coding one hasn't quite been successful, but we're working on that. Work on YouTube, and then our job applications. So it's that's a great line. Structure and all these things line up with my values. I actually removed 2 things that used to be on there because they weren't part of the path that I'm paving for myself right now. Um, so this is great. We made it to the end of this subsection of motivation. We were tasked to write down our I am statements, which I did, to create a list of things that we value, which I completed, and then to get into the habit of asking why before I do anything, and I started doing that now. So I am asking why I'm going to do this task, why I'm learning, why I'm reading, why my Apple Watch is always chiming whenever I'm talking, and we're ready to go. So our next video will be on energy, the second part of motivation. With that being said, y'all have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.